What's going on, everybody? Happy Memorial Day. For this video, I'm dropping a quick overview for the brand new cycle we got in the market, share what's going on, what to look out for in the news, and I'm sharing 4 great setups that's easy money at the end of the video, so make sure you tune into that. In the last cycle, we had tariff fears and things were getting smoked. Biden's AI diffusion rule, which killed all momentum for semiconductors, especially NVDA, and ultimately it killed the entire market. Those were set to come into play mid-May. All those things started settling down after Trump started easing on those tariffs and making deals. And once he scrapped Biden's AI diffusion rule, we rallied right back up. Now for this brand new cycle we got starting up this upcoming week. The major things are 1, the tax bill, and 2, potential rate cuts. Now, as long as both don't get rolled out, there's a huge chance the market will start pricing in the huge amount of liquidity that's about to flood the market, which will lead us to a brand new all-time high. This week, starting off the cycle, we got FOMC minutes, so we'll be getting more details from the Fed. I'm leaning towards nothing's changing still. You may mention there's no need for a cut in June, but you want to see if they change their stance. Maybe they mentioned they overstated the possible impacts, the negative impacts on the tariffs that Trump was handing out, stating not as bad as they thought, and boosting the idea that rate cuts could be on the table by July and even greater odds in September. So if we get that type of news, we'll be ready to make a decision in the market. Also, back to the tax bill. In theory, the deadline for this is to pass by mid-July on the Senate level. And initially, there's always some type of pushback. So as we start looking better, based off of unrelated positive news, start expecting the tax bill pushback headlines to come up. And look at those as like a second chance to get an entry lower or as an opportunity to go short. But keep this in mind, come late June, the Senate should be working towards getting this bill right. Powell potentially signaling rate cuts coming in July or September. So if all those things start setting up, the news starts aligning, they're pretty much giving us an insane setup to rally into the end of the year. Especially if the bill gets passed, there will be a ton of liquidity above our recent all-time high. Alright, so some major things that's happening this week. It already happened on Sunday. We had Trump and the EU leaders. They discussed and they worked on getting those 50% tariffs pushed back from June 1st to around July 9th. And they announced that on Sunday, so we already got a huge rally to start the short week. We got FOMC, which we already talked about. Just expect some good action. And of course, the main event will be NVIDIA's earnings. The main thing to watch for is how they guide after the report. And then we got Thursday and Friday should be some insane action after NVIDIA earnings. We also get some month-end positioning from large funds. Now going over some of the top setups to start off this cycle. First up, we got Carvana. That's got a great setup. If we can get above 310, we got an easy trade. 310, 314, 318. Now with Carvana, we do got a hard level around 321. If we can get above that, now we got the next leg up where we're targeting 325, 329. Next on this list, we got Snow. They just had a huge beat on earnings, had a great reaction to it. So now we're looking at some upper levels. We can get back above 202, 205. We got some resistance at 208, 209. But once we get above that, we should be able to target 213 pretty easy. Hit our 214, 216 targets. Then we have some resistance at 217, but we should blow right through that and hit our 220 target. Another name looking for a bounce, we got CAVA. It's a pretty hard trade around this 84, 85 level, tons of resistance. But we can go ahead and break above that 86 range. We got a pretty decent range around 86, 88, maybe get to 89. That's an easy range where we can kind of trade it in and out, take 50% gains on some contracts. So that's a nice setup. It's got a falling wedge, so it should pop. If it holds above that 85, that's a pretty easy trade. All right, now for my favorite setup, we got Coin. As long as it stays above that 265 range, we got a great setup. You really want to see a daily or a weekly close above this 274 range, because if that sets up the stage for a move to 288, 291, 311. And the best part about Coin is all the funds had to buy it. They usually buy it around like the Friday after it gets announced for the S&P 500 inclusion. But there's one more major fund that typically buys around the end of May. So if that buy does come in, we should get a strong pop, have a huge day from around 290 to 311 range. So that's a huge range we could trade and make a lot of money off. Yeah, so that wraps up this video. Keep an eye out on the news. Make sure you're aware of what's going on. Keep those setups on your radar. And when things start moving, make your decision and go ahead and get paid.